Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to talk about a movie that I've spoken about in the past. I know I did a video years and years ago on it, and that's Rubin and Ed. This just got a Blu-ray release. This originally only had a VHS rip that even the director was selling on his website on a burnt DVD with the VHS rip. So this was very, very surprising that this got a Blu-ray release. It's a very niche, kind of cult classic film. It stars Crispin Glover and Howard Hesseman. So, admittedly, I used to love this movie. I rewatched it last night with my wife, who was not a fan, but she's also not really a fan of my humor usually. And, well, that's not true, but I digress. She's not a fan of certain movie humor. So, I rewatched this and I still enjoy it. I don't think I love it as much as I used to, but I do want to talk about it. So, Crispin Glover, you may have seen, went on Letterman years ago, before this movie came out, and did sort of a stunt where he jumped around and acted crazy and almost kicked Letterman in the face. Letterman threw him off the channel, and I don't know if he ever went back, but he was dressed like Rubin from Rubin and Ed. So, Rubin and Ed is a movie about Crispin Glover's character, Rubin, who has a cat that dies, and they do tell you how the cat dies, and he has him frozen in his fridge, and he's sort of a weirdo, for lack of a better term. He lives in this motel with his mom, where the mom is the motel manager, and he doesn't want to leave the house or make friends or do anything, and the mother is sort of prodding him to go out and do something and make something of himself and meet people. So she says to him, "I'm not giving you back your radio unless you go out and bring a friend to dinner. You have to make a friend." He ends up going out and he meets a kind of middle-aged Howard Hesseman, who is Ed, who goes to all these multi-level marketing scheme seminars and does work with this company called The Organization. It's kind of just a joke about multi-level marketing, kind of like Amway or whatever. And it's something to do with buying real estate. We've all seen it before in that regard. So he's on the street and he's trying to pick up people to sign up for this multi-level marketing scam, if you will, and he meets Rubin, and he sort of has this weird interaction with him, and Rubin tries to get him to come home for dinner with the mother so that the mother gives him back his radio, and they go on this adventure together, very not at ease. It's very a big conflict during the whole story. They go on this adventure together where Rubin is now trying to bury his dead cat at the perfect spot in the desert. Sounds crazy, and it is pretty wacky. The humor is strange and can be dry in ways and awkward, and the characters are weird and awkward. So you have Rubin, who's kind of out there, and then you have Ed, who is more of the straight-laced guy, but he has anger issues. So he's constantly cursing and yelling and fighting with Rubin. And he's trying to get him to these multi-level marketing seminars while Rubin is focused on burying his cat. So they go out into the desert and things just go awry. Rubin gets heat stroke. Ed leaves him there eventually after the car breaks down, and little things happen, and eventually things do work out, but there's a lot of weird story in between. There's hallucinations where Rubin is getting some kind of sunstroke and he's thinking of crazy stuff, and so it's kind of a fun little movie. And if you have a weird sense of humor, or you like dry humor and just strange things happening, I would recommend it. It's not necessarily something I found as funny more recently. I watched DC Cab the other day and I was actually laughing at points because I like that kind of raunchy, racy humor. This isn't that. The other thing is, since I've only watched this from crappy VHS rips over the years, I think that sort of added to the charm of this low-budget weird film that never came out on DVD or Blu-ray. Now that it's out and it looks really good, and it is a bare bones release, there's no extras or specials or interviews, which is kind of crappy. There's no subtitles even. I mean, this has a very big cult following, and this could have really benefited from an interview with Trent Harris or maybe some of the old cast or something. So it's kind of, I don't want to say it takes away that the quality is so good, but it definitely feels more up to date, not so weird and underground when you watch it, because The only other way that we used to watch it was just crappy, VHS rips online. So that's the gist of it. Rubin and Ed is a fun film. I think if you like quirky comedies with some weirdness and strange stuff, kind of, I don't know if I would say Royal Tenenbaums type stuff, but that's kind of the only thing I can think of in that like vein where there's that dry humor. But I like this much better than that. So yeah, check out Rubin and Ed if you haven't seen it. And I did a video years ago on it if you want to check that out as well. It's definitely a fun little quirky comedy, and I think most people probably don't know about it. So thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Mike Cat can eat a whole watermelon.